Good morning, genealogy friends. I am here after missing Friday again. I'm excited to be back on. Hopefully my health will start cooperating a little bit more so we can do this more regularly because I have a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Today I'm going to be showing you how I record heirlooms and collections. So I'm going to be using 4 different pages from the Family Tree Notebooks line, but I think even for people who haven't made the leap and bought all of the pages or bought these particular pages, I think this will be helpful. I do want you guys to keep in mind as you're watching this that a lot of what I'm doing, even if I'm using the pages, it's more about the methodology, and a lot of what I do could be done with blank paper if you wanted to write it all out. I mean, that's probably not the best sales pitch, but the whole thing that I love about the system of worksheets that I've created is basically that they're so simple that it's almost like they are just showing you what you need to do, but they are not complicated or magical. So we're going to be looking at non-complicated, non-magical pages today. Hello, I'm Carly, for those of you who don't know me and are just watching. Sorry again about my voice. I just have not been able to kick this bug. So, how many weeks ago now? 2 weeks? 1 week? At some point, I told you guys that the left-handed bundles were going to be coming out, the ones that have the color strip on the right side, so you can have double-sided pages or a left-handed book. That is still true. I know people have been looking for them because people have been searching for them on the site. They're not up yet. I just haven't been able to get my ducks in a row for lots of reasons. It's been sort of a when it rains it pours kind of week. So I promise I will not keep it to myself when those come out, but they are not out yet. There is a whole group of pages that are coming out with them. Those are also not out. Part of the problem is that it's not even just that I need to make the pages. I then need to photograph them and make graphics and put the listings up and things like that. So it just takes a while. So I will keep you posted, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna try again to clip in so that you guys can just watch me work. I think that worked pretty well when we did the tables. Let me move my items out of the way. Okay. And Face ID. Okay. So let me show you the worksheets that we're going to be looking at today. These worksheets are loaded into GoodNotes 5. That's what this is up here. If you bought the worksheet, you could have it loaded into a different program and you wouldn't have all of this up here. This is the Heirloom worksheet. We're also going to look at, this is a secondary one. I forgot I was going to make a sample. I didn't. We're also going to look at the collection page, the collection log page, and then this, which is the collection photo grid. Okay, and I was going to make samples and then I didn't because I thought, you know what, we'll just do it in real time because maybe that'll be more helpful than showing you guys my pretty complete pages. Okay, so these could almost be used interchangeably. The point of the collection log and the collection pages are to take a group of items basically a group of items and record lots of information together, whereas an heirloom is really more one specific thing. So let's do the heirloom page really quick. This is what do you call these? It's a compact, but it's like a makeup thing. I was in the 3rd grade when my grandmother gave this to me. It was just in her jewelry, being costume jewelry. I thought it was the greatest thing I had ever seen in my life. It had a little powder puff in it at the time, and I used to take it to school. I wore it to school for months, and at some point the powder puff fell out and I lost it because this got so loose that it would just end up being around my neck like that. It's not the most valuable heirlooms, I know, but it's very special to me. So I thought that it would be a good one to use for this page. What I'm going to do is I am going to actually just use my iPad to take a photo of it. In GoodNotes, I could just take a photo and import it. In GoodNotes, you can also use this hammer button, can't you? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's awkward to do this while filming yourself doing this because I'm trying to. Okay, get up there. Make that pretty for my fakey little page. Okay, use photo as an option down here. Use photo. I'm gonna just move you out of the way. Those probably have some specific name that I don't know. I can imagine somebody watching being like, that's not what that's called. Okay, I'm gonna crop this photo. And we'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now a lot of this information is either not going to be applicable here or I don't have it. For example, I don't know who made this. I almost wonder if I could look into that, but I don't know. Description, this is a powder. You know what? I'm rushing this because you guys are watching and I'm like a little bit nervous, but I would never just free write like that. I always use the Zoom box. Powder. Compact. In gold. Hi, that's not how you spell gold. Gold case with gold chain. And story and notes. This would be more elaborate if I didn't have you guys waiting on me. But given to Carly by her grandmother in 1990. And I would, again, probably have more of a story and details, but I'm not going to do that right now. Down here, you have original owner, date acquired, current owner, date acquired, currently located, all of these things. That's basically what I just put up there. I could have waited. Again, you won't always know all of these, but I do have preferred future owner. That could be something important if you're actually using this to do items that you're, not only do you want to share the story, but you're concerned about where they're going to go. Right now, I'm not going to write out my grandmother's name. Let's pretend that I did. It's so funny to be a person who does a lot of social media because you're constantly worried about privacy, especially the privacy of other people. And even though my grandmother passed just a little over a year ago, I am still worried about her privacy. Oh, wait, she didn't acquire that in 1990, I did. I don't know when she acquired it. That's the other frustrating thing is I know for a fact that she told me a story about it when I got it, but I was 7 and didn't know, so I know it's at my house anyway. And because this heirloom came from that grandmother, I would probably put it in her chapter, which for me is 2. So this is a rushed and incredibly simplified version of this page. Let's look at putting together a collection page. Okay, so this is more of a collection. This is my treasures box. I've had it since I was a little girl. And in it, I have random things that were really important to me up until about the time that I got married. So there's a lot of things in here that don't really make sense and don't go together. There are also a lot of things in here, well, pretty much everything in here isn't really worth anything. It's just the kind of stuff that would be treasured by, you know, a child without any idea of what the actual value was. But each of these items has a story or some kind of significance for me. So we're going to treat this as a collection that we want to document so that I get some of those stories out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a photo again using the camera inside the GoodNotes app. Okay, and I'm going to just, sorry, this is so close to the, okay, that's the photo that I'm using. Let's scoot this out of the way for a second. Again, if I was doing this for all of posterity, I would not be going quite this fast. But here's an interesting example of not really wanting that photo frame right now, which I could make this larger and cover it up, but I'm just gonna make it fit inside like that. Okay, so collection, name or subject of collection. This is my treasure. Box. Collector. Carly Morgan. Items collected through childhood. It has the collection Carly Morgan. And then here, this says contents and notes. Now, that's a pretty generous amount of space. I could detail, I could make a list. I could make a bullet list of the things that are in it. I could detail just some of my favorites, some of the highlights. I could write about the treasure box as a whole collection, which is actually probably what I would do and what I will do. I'm actually anticipating using these pages for this collection. Instead of focusing on specific things, this would be about why I keep them in this box, why I've kept them together, where I store them now that I'm a married mother. So, you know, this is really whatever you feel like would be important to you and to your family later on. But let's move to this. This is actually one of my favorite pages. I have used this for other family members. This was helpful when my grandmother was passing away and when we were doing her estate. I wish that I had had more time to use this more with my grandparents. And if anybody out there has the ability to talk to their family members about things like this now, I didn't have this page until my grandmother was pretty sick. My grandfather had already passed away, and she didn't always have the energy to go through things one by one, and there were so many things that I wish, that was a big check. There were so many things that I wish I had the full story for. So let's actually use this page. We're going to, well, I'll start filling out this top part. So treasure, box, collector, Carly Morgan. Okay. So there's spaces on this page for 3 items. I'm going to pull 3 items out of this box. We can do this guy because he's seasonal, and we'll do, it's just more jewelry. Isn't it so funny when you just look at all this basically worthless stuff, but I just can't even decide. Okay, we'll do lip balm. And we can do this. Oh, that's fine. I'll save these other things for another day. Okay, so I'm going to photograph these items one by one and put them into those little boxes. Where are you? Oh, there you are. You're very large. if you're wondering about photo quality and how important that is, I personally sort of bounce around. I always want my pages to be pretty, but mostly I want the item to be, or the item or the people to be represented correctly, if that makes sense. And sometimes with filtering and things like that, it can really change the way something looks. So in this instance, I don't think I would have filtered these photos anyway. Use photo. I could have zoomed in more on that, but. Oh, sorry. I'm just working away, not showing you what I'm doing. Okay. And we're gonna crop that a little bit more. One more. Pretty confident they don't make that anymore, but if any of you recognize that as something that you still use, please let me know. Okay. Use photo. I love this case, but it is really annoying that it covers up the camera. Okay, so I now have 3 items in the 3 spaces. I'm going to fill in the information for them. Okay, this top item is, not to force you guys on some track down memory lane, but this is a reflections medal. For poetry. I got it when I was in elementary school. So I would have gotten it in 1990, which we'll use as the date created. They probably created it around that time. Approximate value, none. Notes, and then I would probably put in, you know, the name of the poem or the teacher I had or something like that. This object here is a clay pumpkin, and it was created in 1993, and it was a Halloween gift from my childhood best friend, Laura. And again, I have, you know, information about her that I would put in here, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to do a skeleton page, show you guys how this works. And then down here I have lip balm. Let's see, Village lip balm. I am not sure when it was created, but we're going to say circa 1985. This was a gift from my mother. It was a big deal because I thought it was lipstick and that we were very fancy. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, I'm hoping that you guys aren't just bored watching me fill out worksheets, but this is how I use the collection log. And I did want to do one more page, this collection photo grid. When I'm doing straight photo grids, things with lots of photos, I do care more about the photos. So this has 12 spots for photos. I wanted to show you an example of actually editing the photos instead of taking them in the app really quick, just in case that was helpful. For those of you for whom that would not be helpful, that's really all I'm going to do for the rest of the video. So feel free to tune out and come back next time. Okay, we have this. Oh, that was heavier than I thought it was going to be. We have this rock collection. Confession, I actually know nothing about rocks. My daughter is very interested in rocks. But I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5. You know what? We're only going to do 6. My interest in rocks is so limited that I am not doing more than 6 of these. I want something that looks different. Okay. Push. So I've got these rocks. Let's say I want to take these rocks and I want to write down information about them. Sorry, I feel like this example is terribly boring. Maybe that's just because I have a prejudice against rocks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the camera on my iPad to photograph these rocks individually, and then I'm going to edit the photos in a separate app. Do this very quickly because this is very boring. Those of you who are just tuning in, like, she's photographing rocks. This is really not the family history content I signed up for. But let's, you can pretend that these are anything that people collect. Animal figurines, cigar boxes, focus please, cocktail jewelry. Okay. I have my photos of rocks. I'm going to find a photo app that I use. There are lots of photo apps out there. My favorite one is called Color Story. There are in-app purchases for filters and things like that, but the basic version has a lot of editing. It also lets you do batch edits. I'm going to batch edit all 6 of these. Batch edit. It's nice because I took them all at the same time, so they're all basically same lighting, same everything. And I'm going to go into adjust, and let's just bump up that lighting a little bit. Oh my gosh, really? Sorry, sometimes the app does this. I was not anticipating that it would choose right now to do that. I don't know if that is even going to save with the edits. Let's find out. Go into my photos. No, it saved 6 white. Okay, we're gonna try you one more time. Why are you angry? I have all of those white squares. Oh, you guys, I'm so disappointed. This is my favorite app. Although I will tell you, this is not the first time this has happened, so I guess that's a big mark against it. Well, that was really disappointing. I'm not gonna make you watch me play with that anymore. It's the thing, I don't use a lot of these otherwise, and I don't feel like it's worth it for me to show you how to use any of the other ones. The other ones tend to have more bells and whistles or just nonsense, so we'll just go back to this and pretend that the photos are edited. I was just going to show you that it does make a difference when you have all the photos next to each other, if you have them be bright and clear and generally the same color tones and stuff, but it's not the end of the world. So here we're going to pick from our photo library instead of using the camera. So I'm going to go into photos. It's going to show me all the white squares I just saved, but I'm going to click photos again because I prefer to pick from this menu. And I'm going to go up and pick, I suppose I should do them in order. And then just like if I had taken the photo, I'm going to crop these down. I like to, oh, heavens. I like to make these the right size across and then crop the tops and the bottoms. That is complete preference. But I find that that's a little bit easier when I'm trying to fit things into these tiny boxes. And yes, I agree with you that fitting things into the tiny photo frames is annoying. It also gives me a huge sense of accomplishment when I do it right, so I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I'm very self-conscious about the fact that I chose rocks because this is such a boring collection. I do collect other things. I collect really interesting things. Rocks are not on that list. I cannot tell at all if I'm still recording. I think I am. Sorry, I just got a phone call. It scared the pants off of me. All right, I'm going to assume that I'm still recording. Sorry about that. I have a loud and obnoxious ringtone because otherwise I can't hear it over my children. But yeah, when your phone's right by your head, man, that'll wake you up. Oh, okay. You know what? We're just going to do the top 3. I just can't handle it. I can't handle how boring these are. Next time we'll do Disney pins or something if I ever do this in the future. I don't know how many Disney fans I have out there, but I collect all sorts of Disney things, and I have a very respectable collection. I also collect cabinet cards and things like that, but that's because I'm a weird genealogist. Okay, so ideally, collection page, a lot of photos that are similar, and then space underneath for notes. Again, this is a bad example. I believe that that's turquoise. Other than that, I have no idea what these rocks are. They are not sentimental to me. They are mostly my daughter's. So, but if, you know, you had different toys, different stories, or at least you were able to name things. If I was able to say, this is granite, this is some other kind of rock, and this is turquoise. The idea, again, all of the pages created so that you can leave a story that makes sense to other people, and also created so that you can build your story in a way that's aesthetically pleasing and that collects all the information at once. It's very satisfying actually to make these collection pages for collections that are important to you, because you know, you take the time to collect something. And for my kids, you know, I think about them going through my things and not, you know, knowing, okay, mom had this collection of these 9 little items. What are they and why were they important? Why would anybody ever collect this? I like being able to tell those stories easily, but that is it. So we've got heirloom, collection log, and the collection photo grid, which was, compiled with less energy than the others. I hope that was helpful. I am also hoping to be back tomorrow with another live. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with me.